Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the video, and today I'll be doing a review on the ClearView racing receiver. Now this is an external receiver that you'll plug into your goggles that promises better video for a better racing experience. If you take a look, the ClearView does have two SMA connectors on the side here. However, this is not a diversity receiver. It is meant to be used with the same antenna on both sides because it sort of uses the signals and combines them together digitally to give a better picture. So you're either supposed to use two omnis or two patches on each side. Now one of the downsides in using something like this over just, say your standard goggles, which probably have diversity or even just one receiver module built in, is the size of this. It's all built into your goggles. This is a lot bigger and it's going to require something like a tripod. So let me just show you how I have mine set up. Okay, so this is just what my general setup looks like. I just have the ClearView mounted to the tripod here. And you just have your two antennas coming off the sides, doesn't matter. Over here you have your AV out from the ClearView down to your goggles. You just plug that in, and then on the back side, or it doesn't matter wherever, I just strap a battery with the power cable to come up, and that plugs into the side like that. And then these little lights come on to indicate which antenna is getting a stronger signal. Once I pick one up, you can see it's saying the right one here, which is kind of a neat feature. And then I can just pretty much position this or leave it wherever I want and raise it up. This tripod obviously goes a little bit higher, but I recommend getting a height of about 5 feet to get out of the Fresnel zone. So that's just the way I set up mine there. However, some people do mount this to the back of their radio. They'll put it on the back of their radio so they're holding it there, but I just don't think that's as good as an option because it's more clunky, it makes your radio heavier, and you're probably not going to be getting up high enough to get optimal video. And now the antennas I showed you there in that little clip were these guys. These are the Iftron V antennas. They are 8 dBi patches. These are left-hand circularly polarized ones, and they sent me these along with the ClearView, and I've been using them out, and they work really well. But these antennas are $50 each, so I'm not really sure if they are worth the purchase, considering I've been using this as well on some of the times. This is a little immersion 8 dBi patch, a Spironet one. And it seems to provide pretty much the same results, and this is only I think it's half the price. I think this is $25, so I'm not really sure if I'd recommend the antennas just because of how pricey they are, but if you wanted to get the best video experience, these have provided the best video for me. Like I said earlier, this is not a diversity receiver. However, they told me that it will work fine if you use two different antennas. For example, I've been using this patch and just a pagoda, sort of like a diversity setup here, and it works just fine. Actually, I think I've gotten some of my better video on this, and they say that especially if you're using it in a racing environment where you're not positioned, say the track is here and you're not positioned here where you can get the patch to cover the whole track. If you're in the middle where the patch is only going to get one part of it, running an omni and a patch is definitely the best option there, as it'll still work perfectly fine. You'll just get about 70% of the optimal performance out of the antennas. So over here on the right we do have the power input jack, which is 9 to 17 volts, which is a 3 to 4S LiPo. I just power it off a 3S, as you can see from the tripod. I just strap a battery to the side of the tripod. This is a 3S 2200, and this will pretty much last. I haven't run it fully down, so I'm not exactly sure what the run times are, but I'd say probably about 4 or 5 hours of continued use with this guy before that drains it out. And then you just plug that in with this little barrel connector right into the side there, and it powers up just fine. And then also on the other side we do have our two video out ports, and it is nice that they give you two because you can get the one to plug into your goggles or somebody else's goggles. For say if your spotter wanted to get better video, they could plug in there, and two is also just a lot more handy than one. And I use the Aomway Commanders, and for anyone that's curious, you just plug in to the AV out/in port down here. You just plug that all the way in, and then when you turn your goggles on, you're gonna press and hold the mode button for 3 seconds, and you'll hear a beep, and that shuts off the internal RF modules here, and that knows that it's looking for an external one, which is quite nice and simple to do on the Commanders here. And of course, you'll be able to plug in AV into your standard Fat Sharp type of goggles. So another one of the downsides of this, if we look over here, this is the button that you use to change the settings and menus. There's only one button, and for a item with as much space and as high price as this, I really wish it would have had maybe 2 or 3 buttons, because this is the simple click, 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 and hold style of system. There's no front, back, there's just forward and then hold to select. So real quick, I'll just run you through the menus. Alright, so here we are in the ClearView menu system. If you see in the top left, you have your frequency and your battery voltage. So if we scroll over to user menu, you can see in the middle you have a little scanner that'll go along automatically. And if you press and hold on the frequency selection there, as I'm doing, it'll tab through the ones you have set up. If we hit setup menu, there are the 8 stored frequencies that I was just scrolling through. You can set these up to your most commonly used 8 channels, however you want. So if you want to change one, just long press, and then you can change the individual digits one at a time. So you just scroll through until you find the digit that you want. You can only change the last 3. So for example, if I wanted a 5840, you just scroll over, select the 4 here, quick presses till you get to it, then a long press to select. Same thing for the 7, just to a 0, and then a short press over to OK, and a long press, and then go back down to go to video, and you should be good. So it does take a little bit of time to learn just using this pressing button and where to go and how to select stuff, and overall it's not bad. As of now, I can change channels and set things up in probably 10 seconds, but in the beginning it definitely took me a few minutes to understand it. So it's not a huge downside, but I just wish there would have been a few more buttons to make the navigation a little bit easier. Now, ClearView promises not just better signal, but better video in general, and I think that's definitely apparent because when like I said, when I'm using my commanders, sometimes I'll have them plugged on. Well, I'll have the video I'll look in before I shut the internal module off, and before it's kind of white and blown out a little bit, and when I shut it off, I can see the difference in change of the image itself. So it seems like the ClearView actually does add some contrast and saturation in with the better signal. It does improve the image quality just a little bit as well, which is quite nice. But I know depending on your goggles, some people that I've let use my ClearView, it was too contrasty or too little contrast in their goggles. So depending on what you have, you might have to adjust your goggle brightness and contrast settings as well. So ClearView actually reached out to me to review this receiver quite a while ago, but I didn't want to at first just because this racing receiver is almost $400. It's like $375, and the Pro version is almost $700. So it's really, really expensive for something that's, pretty much everyone already has in their goggles. But after a few races where I just had bad video, I couldn't help but think, would having a ClearView had made my video better enough for me to fly? So I went ahead and got it, and really I have to say, ever since I've started using this, I have not had any breakup that has been impairing to my flying while I'm racing. Before I'd have flashes and breakup that's kind of hard to fly through, and it might last for a second or so, but once I've switched to the ClearView here for racing, I am so much more confident in my video link for racing. I have basically no breakup. The DVR does show some breakup, but it is for sure better than standard inbuilt modules in your goggles. And just let me show you a real quick comparison of racing from in Maryland that I did. Using the ClearView, and then also using a standard set of goggles. He was using a LaForge and a patch and an Omni to record his DVR, so I'll show you them side by side. Okay, so here we have some DVR from the Maryland Quad Racers race that I was at. On the left we have the ClearView, and on the right we just have some standard Fat Shark goggles with a LaForge module. And once again, on the left, the ClearView, I am recording with my Aomway DVR, so it's not like I have some special DVR hooked up. And hopefully you can see what I was talking about. The colors, the saturation and contrast on the left on the ClearView are definitely different. These are both stock recordings, they're totally raw. On the right is the true colors that were coming from the camera. But you can hopefully just see that the general breakup and sort of mainly the white flashes overall are definitely pretty much gone. And this is probably the most breakup I've ever gotten out of the ClearView to begin with. So I will be showing another example because it's usually pretty much 100% breakup free. But in this case, it still is far better than the standard goggles is producing. Alright, and here's some more DVR from a Lock Haven Quad Racers event that I was just at, and this is sort of the normal results that I got of the ClearView. I'm not sure actually why I had as much breakup as I did in Maryland, which is kind of funny because now I'm just so used to it being perfect, because if you look at this DVR recording here, nothing special going on, and there is like absolutely no breakup. There's like 99% clarity in video. It just barely barely flickers and tiny lines sometimes, but this is the normal results that I get. You can see the video here is just absolutely fantastic. So it just really shows to go that the ClearView definitely is doing some stuff special digitally. So hopefully you can definitely see the ClearView definitely has a better signal, and there is still some breakup in the DVR, but I'm not entirely sure if that's a DVR or not, because I don't remember seeing that in the goggles, because when I'm flying with this I don't notice any breakup at all. And it really still is a hefty price tag at almost $400, where I feel like it's just like pretty much any other thing in the hobby. Like, people spend, you know, $350, $500 on goggles, but it's really just an investment. Because if you didn't pay more to invest in quality gear, everyone would just be flying ZMR 250s and FlySky. So it really depends on what kind of racer you are, or pilot in general, because this will definitely give you a better signal. If you're interested in going hiking and backpack flying, you know, I don't think this is definitely right for you at all, because just having convenient goggles where it's already built in, real small, on your head, ready to go, that's much more convenient. But if you're the type of person who likes to go out for the day, set up, do some serious flying, serious racing, and you're definitely invested in this hobby and you want to continue forward, I think this might be something that you want to look at. And it's also nice because when I was down in Maryland at their state championship race, me and a couple other people had their ClearViews there. I think there was 4 in total. And we just set them up on the video channels and left them there for anyone who wanted to use them to plug in. So I think it's really nice if you're able to share it as a community, because it gives you better video overall. Because when you're racing, you don't want to have to worry about your parts. You don't want to have to worry about your video. That's the last thing you want to be thinking about. Is my video going to be okay? You just want to race and put down the times. So I definitely do recommend it if you're interested in getting better video and becoming a better racer, or just freestyle in general. That was in the video. There will be a link down below if you're interested in it. Please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.